Hello again. I'm Nancy Freeman,
Hello.
founder and chairman of Telephone Doctor Customer Service Training. And as you see, we have another interview today with it. The object and the goal of this program was to interview people that I know about, but really have never met. And while this particular person I met not 100 years ago when I spoke at the International Car Wash Association. Anyway, we bonded quickly. Stuart Williams in the franchise industry, a leader, a team leader. I want to say a good friend of mine. I've never really bonded with him in person. We met and that was it. And so we stayed connected on LinkedIn. Stuart, welcome to Out of the Box, where we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, thank you for having me, Nancy. I appreciate you taking the time today as well.
Absolutely, you know that. Bottom line, I gave you a little hint. I don't do too much research on you, although I followed you on LinkedIn and Facebook, and you've done some traveling. But you said something pre-Zoom program here that interested me. I do know your age now, but you're so young looking and youthful looking and acting, etc. You got into the industry at what age?
15, I
Franchising
started.
since 15. What happened at 15 years? Tell me.
15, my first real job, so to speak, besides babysitting, dog sitting, and things like that, and cutting grass, was with a chain that doesn't exist very much. I don't think they have any locations anymore. It was Mr. Donut years
Mr.
ago.
Donut, like eat
Mr.
a donut?
Like eat a donut. Yeah. Mr.
And
Donut was a very good franchise concept. I worked for a franchisee who had multiple locations in Madison, Wisconsin, of all places, when I went to high school.
is that where you were born, Madison, Wisconsin?
No. Born actually in Pennsylvania and moved to Florida, and then Cincinnati, Ohio, and then Madison, Wisconsin, and then there's more.
I know you're so busy. You're currently living in
Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Atlanta, Georgia has an enormous amount of franchising going on in that state and the city, rather, and the state.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
right now? Stuart has a good consulting firm, and we can talk about that a little bit right now if you want.
Sure.
What
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
what does Stuart do, and what does he do for his clients mostly?
Yes. I mean, I just before I started with Procter and Gamble years ago, I was doing consulting, and then after P&G, I did some consulting, and then started building another brand, and then left that brand recently, and then started consulting again. Private equity, a lot of private equity, venture capital, individuals that are interested not just in the car wash business, but franchising, as we all know. A lot of money is flowing into franchising, which is good and bad, depending on the concepts and what their goals and objectives are down the road. Also assessing, franchise concepts or assessing concepts that may become a franchise, even helping out franchisors and franchisees how to improve their business from operations, marketing, development, whatever it may be. So
You've got
there's
so
a
much experience to help those people. It's got to be difficult working alone. What do you miss most about the franchise industry? You're in it, I know that, but what do you miss most?
the people. Made some great friends in the franchising industry, and the last concept I was in, they were franchisors, but chose to go corporate growth just because of the industry in the car wash industry and what has happened in that industry. So I've really missed the people, and I think that's the most important thing in any concept is the people, the concept you're working in, and also the industry. So not going to the international franchise association conferences and the regional conferences and being part of all the committees I used to be a part of years ago has really probably been the toughest thing. I miss those people. We made some really strong bonds, and I
It's a
still
family.
stay in touch.
It is a family, as everybody
It is.
says, a
It is.
franchise family. And I was blessed to have a good part of it. Now I'm sort of on the outside looking in. Are you going to IFA this year?
I am not, which is interesting. I'm actually was a little busy with a consult job that's going to keep me away. I was trying to bounce around it, but couldn't. They urgently needed my assistance,
Well,
and I'm booked kind of in that genre area, that little period of time. I could not relocate it or move it, or they just needed help, and I have to.
that
commit to
happens.
that.
You should put something on LinkedIn about I'm there in spirit,
Yeah,
etc.
absolutely. Good people.
I know you'll be missed because if I don't know how many people listen to this, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just having fun. although there will be a few, but
Yep.
Stuart misses you. So, give him a call. We'll talk about phone numbers and places and everything in a moment. Oh, something just jumped out of my head about your franchising consulting. What's the best part about consulting?
The best part is picking and choosing what you want to do.
What you want to do or what they want to do?
What I want to do. I get to choose if I want to take a client on or not. Obviously, that's kind of fun. The bad part is not knowing when the clients are coming or where they're coming or the consistency is part of it. The bad part, again, touching back on the team, not working with the team and being part of it. Years ago, I had somebody I used to have on my team that we both would do it, or go into and assess and visit locations or visit a concept, whatever they wanted us to do. But being on your own is a little different. Once again, I've done it before. I've had my own businesses. So it's been very interesting, over the years. But I tell you, having a team and working with the team to grow, there's nothing better. There really is.
That's good. And I can say, and you can tell me, Nancy, there's no editing on this, I'm sorry, but if anybody is looking for a team leader, and per se, Stuart misses the company, maybe a phone call or two, connect back on LinkedIn.
Sure.
I think the LinkedIn connections, and I'm sure you have thousands.
I have quite a few. I have quite a few, and I deleted a lot of them that I didn't really have an association with too. So, but I tell you, having LinkedIn connections, the way LinkedIn works these days, as you know, is very effective to stay in touch with folks.
Right. Staying in touch is critical. I just had one of our salespeople on service skills. I said, we're Mr. Electric, they signed on with service skills.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. I know that franchise. I said, how'd you get it? She says, well, she simply sent an email. Are you ready to talk?
Yeah.
Are you ready to come back? And the guy said, absolutely. And then she got a nice order.
Yeah.
So just that, and she hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, pre-COVID. So getting back with people, I don't know, we talked just for a moment pre-broadcast on the culture of companies.
Absolutely. It's the culture of companies. It's the culture of the leadership and the characteristics of what a good leader is. Just dawned on me when you said Mr. Electric. It reminded me of, the franchising conventions and franchising giving back, which is the day before those conventions start. We used to have like these. I was at the first 8 in a row, and by the time we got to that 8th one, there was maybe 10 people that had gone to all 8 in a row. And I remember one of the first ones. It was with Dina, it's just so many great people over the years, and the folks at Rourke Capital as well years ago when they were much smaller. So times are really different these days.
Yeah.
The bigger guys and the bigger, conglomerates as far as franchising goes really has changed. Their face has changed, and there's also a lot of competition, especially in the service areas, and that's my expertise. I've been in restaurants. I was with Golden Corral years ago. Really, were started.
Golden Frog.
Yeah. Golden Corral.
Golden Corral. Oh,
Golden
yeah.
Corral years ago.
My husband loves that franchise.
Yeah, years ago when they were fledgling, and the two owners, Bill Carl and James Maynard. So Bill Carl actually had hired me. He unfortunately, years not too long after, younger than me now, passed away, which was a shock at the time. But they started some other concepts outside of restaurants, and I got involved with them then and really learned foundational principles of leadership and character and taking care of people. And that they taught me really how to lead and how to take care of your people and to build a team. So I attribute that foundational principles to them, and kudos to that team. They're still a phenomenal operation.
Kudos to you for giving credit. That is a rare art now. People giving credit. They all want to take it themselves. So Stuart Williams, I admire you for that.
Well, thank you. Being authentic and humility, and we it's a lot of things about being a good leader, and giving credit.
Authentic is critical.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Some people say, well, Nancy, I love the boo-boos that you make. Well, if I had to have a perfect Zoom program, nobody would believe it's real.
Right. They think you're editing all the time. Right. That's exactly
they're
right.
Edited. So. It's too smooth. It's like having too much makeup. I shouldn't say that. It's having too much makeup on. I don't know. It's just, you got to be real with people.
Yeah, you really do. And I mean, I remember when I first entered my last role in the car wash world, the International Car Wash Association interviewed me. It was like a Thursday. It was just before COVID. And I tell you, it was a little nerve wracking because it was unscripted. Once again, like we're doing here today. And it was a good 35, 40 minutes of just firing questions, and
Wow.
just like we are today. And it was a lot of fun, but you get to an understanding of, who people are and what their goals are, and, where you're going. You know where you've been, you kind of know where you're at, but where are you going? And that's not always an easy thing to target.
Oh,
You
it's
kind of know where
not.
you want to go,
Yeah.
but you get sidetracked. We all do. And with COVID, that changed everybody's world, as we know. But the big thing today, as we all know, Nancy, and everybody's seen it, everywhere you look, everybody talks about the people now, because COVID really changed the focus on the people.
You're right.
If you're a servant leader, and there's been many greats, Cheryl Batchelder, who was on the board at our concept at P&G, was and wrote a fantastic book, and I give her credit too, of kind of focusing in on the servant leadership role. And I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I just thought I had done it naturally. And then there was a phrase, servant leader. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of what I do. So
That's great.
It really is. There's a couple of key things. I'm going to sidetrack you a little bit here, Nancy. But it's
I'm following the bouncing ball.
Okay.
I don't know if you're ADD, but I am ADD. I can follow the bouncing ball. I'm trying to find where the camera is.
Yeah, we talked about authenticity, but it's really about empowerment. Assisting others to really achieve their full potential. Because if you can help others achieve their greatest that they can do, it will do nothing but just not only help your organization, but they're going to go on and do other things. And there's been nothing greater in my life to see people that I brought in that knew nothing about franchising, knew nothing about leadership or developing people and managing people, that have gone on to become VPs, CEOs, COOs, and own their own franchise concepts as well. And just standing back and giving people credit, like I mentioned as well, being humility, authenticity, I'm trying to think of accountability, being acceptance, understanding others' perspective, because you're not always right, and surrounding yourself with good people that have great ideas, that aren't yes men or women, that will challenge you. And that's very important.
You're saying some things. I'm interjecting here because I don't want to forget, and I am ADD, and I will forget. I apologize. My husband says, you interrupt a lot. I said, no, I interject. You can always keep talking after I'm done interjecting. I'm trying to write as fast as you talk, just to keep up with you. Have you ever considered, your mind is brilliant. Your words are exceptional. Your spontaneity is fabulous. I mean, you're a credit to consulting, in my opinion, and just into the franchise industry.
Well, thank you.
But what I'm trying to get, you're welcome. I'm trying to get to is, have you ever stopped and done a book on the authenticity of franchising? And I'm not talking about, here's a bestseller for me. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a tiny little book. It's got just little tips. And that's what people need. If you notice, years ago, there used to be all these books that were this thick, and they were good books. Granted, I could name one of them right now. They're all fabulous. You probably read them.
I have a bookcase full of them. I mean, I've got literally, I would bring them in. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but today, everything is about speed.
You want short
and sweet.
Yep.
I believe that you've got enough talent to just sit down and write 50 franchising tips that have never been exposed, or something like that. You can publish it yourself. It's not expensive. You're brilliant. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but if you did 2 tips a day, you'd be done in 25 days.
Yeah,
a month.
It's a thought. I've read a lot. I've spoken to a lot that have. There's people that have done a lot of that as well. There's a lot of great franchising people, and there's so
I miss
many.
I miss them too. I miss them too. What I wanted to mention to you, we were talking about culture. I forget what program I was on. There was about maybe 50 to 60 people on there, and they wanted to talk about culture. And they all raised their hand and listed things. Culture is about honesty, and it's about leadership, and about this. And there must have been 20, 25 lists. And Nancy, do you have any comments? I said, well, they're all good, but one of the cultures that I didn't hear was humor. If you don't have humor in your organization of some sort, that's a culture. It doesn't have to be all culture and nothing else, but laughter and culture has been my life. Entertaining, etc. And this whole building filled with 25 people, not every day because we work from home most of the time. It's laughter, it's fun. It's making fun of people in a nice way. And I don't hear that so much anymore. I don't want them to get too serious, but the franchising business, when they get together, I mean, it's a party animal.
Absolutely. And I think, it's, you can't take things too seriously. I mean, we work hard, we play hard.
Right.
That's, you have to have, and also you have to give back, and giving back to whether it's, charitable, always going out. I mean, I always encouraged and developed, we would do something for charity. And there's a lot of great franchise brands that do fantastic charity work, whether it's an annual event or semi-annual, whatever it may be, or giving back a percentage of their profitability or sales, whatever it may be. But it's also willing to roll up your sleeves and work side by side with whomever you're with, and actually I posted something recently. I saw it and it was someone else's words, but it just struck me. It was sometimes I'm the mess, sometimes I'm the broom. On the hardest days, I have to do both.
Huh.
And it's kind of went, oh, absolutely. You never know. I mean, people would see me walk into a location, I mean, even running a company, and I'm picking up trash, and I'm cleaning a bathroom, or I'm helping a customer, or I'm helping someone who's struggling with moving something, whatever it may be. Nobody's beneath anything.
And that's so important. That's
so important.
I told
lead by example. Absolutely.
Lead by example. Have to. I was talking to somebody, and my son has taken over as president. I'm just the pretty face now. But the bottom line is, there's not a thing that I wouldn't do that I would ask them to do, or
absolutely
wouldn't do. Or
absolutely, yeah.
In other words, that is it. You're an amazing, young, bright individual. If there's, I know there are a few people listening. You want to share what you'd like to tell? You want to give your phone numbers or an email that you'd like?
Sure. Email is pretty easy. I actually made a new email, kind of a very simple email. I actually have a Stuart Williams email, but that's at Stuart Williams. But the easiest one is just a Gmail, because Gmail is great, and it's just the number 1, and then Stuart Williams, Stuart Williams at Gmail.
So the 1 goes before Stuart Williams.
You got it. Too many Stuart Williamses out there, apparently. I have a website. Yeah, I do have a website.
I'm sorry.
There's a lot. There's a lot out there. Yeah. Apparently.
You're the number 1. I know that there are friends of mine in the franchise industry that are looking for good leaders. And if you are out there and you're watching, and I've introduced you to Stuart Williams, or you knew him before and forgot he was still around, that happens. It's sad, but it happens. So I'm glad you're on Facebook. I'm glad you're on LinkedIn. But I do want you to write a book.
It's a challenge. I'll think about it, man. I really will. I never really thought about.
That's what they call an easy no.
Yes, it's certainly an idea. It's
my husband, when I give him an idea, he says, "Let me think about that," and I know it'll never get done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. That's okay.
No,
so Atlanta area, as I say.
Oh, Atlanta's crazy. Yeah, Atlanta's crazy. I tell you, unfortunately, I have no family in Atlanta. And really, I moved there for a new role. Most of my family, my kids and my dad are in Florida, but I have a brother in Texas, a sister in Portland, Maine, as well. Wow. So I mean, you may or may not have realized I posted it, but last August, after I left my last role, I finished a bucket list item, which was to visit the 50th state. So I've been to all 50 states, and wow. Which was incredible. I went to Alaska. It was canceled multiple times. I finally went to Alaska, and it was amazing.
Well, I saw your pictures.
Yeah,
I did see your pictures.
Indescribable. Yeah, indescribable.
It is. We took a cruise there, but not.
Yes.
You don't get to see Alaska when you take a cruise. You can say you've been to Alaska.
Yes.
Oh, I've been to Alaska. It's like people say, I've been to St. Louis. Oh, where'd you go? Well, we stopped there on the airplane. That's not visiting St. Louis. So Alaska was
fortunately, fun. Fortunately, through franchising, retail, service world, and some, just relatives, and starting at a very young age, I was able to visit all the states, not just a stop by and a drive by, but actually visit them and do things. And I've been fortunate, and that's been an absolute blast. Did a lot of international work too, and I've been to about 45 countries, which is nice too. But there's always more you want to see and do, and there's places I definitely want to go back.
Where would you want to go back to? Where do you want to go back to?
There are so many places in the U.S. now that have changed over the past 20, 30, 40 years. I mean, when I was 17, 18, I did a tour with some friends in a van, and we did part of the Western U.S. Did the Colorado and Dakotas, Wyoming, things like that. And it was incredible. I mean, to see areas of the country when you haven't seen them in person, how big everything is and how great this country is and how many places are just amazing. And the people are absolutely
You're a
amazing.
people person. You know, it's funny. Yeah. Everybody says, I'm a people person. And I'm tired of that phrase because but you are a true people person. I feel it. I hear it. And I don't know if you're looking obviously for business for the Stuart Williams Consulting. And I'm sure they can find you on Google.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Google on there.
LinkedIn. If you're not LinkedIn with Stuart Williams.
Yep. You'll find me.
LinkedIn, please do it now. I don't point people to friendships very often, but this is one special young man. Well, not so young. Yeah, you are.
Not that young. I'm going to be officially old next year. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, well, no. We don't talk. We don't talk age.
We don't talk numbers. I do take health very seriously. Obviously, I work out very well and take care of myself. I found out about nutrition and food and what that really means and how it affects your entire body and face and skin and everything. And it really makes a big difference on the food you eat, vitamins, exercise on a regular basis. You know, not anything crazy. You know, I don't spend an enormous amount of time. It's just being consistent.
Absolutely. And the food you eat that's a whole nother interview of people, because it's amazing what people don't know. Even myself. I mean, I just read about coffee and I'm thinking, is it good or bad for me? But
the key is moderation. Everything in moderation. You can I love ice cream. I have it. I don't eat like a half a gallon. I eat a small bowl.
Sure.
So everything, pizza. I love pizza. I make pizza, but it's moderation. You know, absolutely. And I guess, you know, getting back to leadership, I think probably the biggest thing, and steering us back to that, is it's about building people's trust. I think, you know, if people trust you, I have like 11 points of like a philosophy of 11 points. I don't know, like I'll share those. I think I posted them one time.
You should post it again.
Yeah, I'll probably post it once again, but it was, you know, work to build trust, you know, help everybody win. That's an important thing. Showing respect, very, very important. Making decisions based on consensus to a certain degree, getting everybody's opinions, listening to those opinions, because sometimes those opinions are better than yours and they're better ideas. Being engaging, like we are, listening to somebody, not just, oh yeah, I hear you, and you're kind of like not listening. And
or taking away the conversation. Yeah.
You got it. Confronting any issues, because that's a team killer. If you have an issue or problem with somebody, you don't confront it right away. Everybody else on the team knows that, and it affects them as well. Really getting to know each other outside of work. I think that's really important on a personal level.
And forgotten about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be very, very visible. Be very clear about what the expectations are as a leader in a team and where we're going. Judging that, making sure that you have some type of scoreboard to understand where you're going. Getting back to teammates, which is really important. If you have a toxic team member and they cannot be saved, so to speak, and I try to save somebody. I hate to retrain people that are good people. They just need a different direction. But if they refuse, they've got to go. You've got to get them off your team, because it will absolutely destroy the entire team dynamic. Work and play hard, which I mentioned as well. And biggest thing is believing in yourself. Believe that you have the capability and instilling that belief into others. Very, very important to get people to feel good and confident about themselves. They will make mistakes, and we all learn from those mistakes. Believe me, we all have some doozies in our past. But yeah, if you can do all those kind of 11 things, and 11 is an important number for me. I just like 11. It's
instead of 10, you like the
number? Yeah, I like 11. 11 is an important number, and it has a lot of meaning to me from a lot of different ways. But it's, you know, it really is an important thing. And I tell you, if you can do all those things and really help people become the best that they can be, and doing all these things, you've got a team that's going to
and
excel.
I feel your belief in that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
One more time, just you want to get the phone number, or what's number one?
Oh yeah.
Stuart Williams at gmail.com. I know that's so easy. Nobody will forget that.
Stuart Williams at Gmail. Makes it easy. And then phone number is actually a Florida number I've had for 20 plus years, and the 904-615-7004.
Well, telephone Dr. Tip. Always say your phone number twice and slowly. One more time, sir.
904-615-7004.
Good for you. Most people say, yeah, give me a call. My phone number is 710-6214. Thanks. So
Yeah.
you get voicemails left like that. I know you do. And
Get
it's
voicemails, texts, I mean, email, it doesn't matter. LinkedIn, of course, is great. Facebook's easy. LinkedIn is probably the easiest thing to do because, you've got,
Right.
even if you don't know somebody, you can message somebody. So I mean, it's been a pleasure too, Nancy. I really, really appreciate you taking the time out.
You are so fun and so energetic. And I know it's been a long time since we've seen each other.
It's been a long time.
Well, I don't know how we're going to make it happen. Everybody says, let's get together soon with that.
It's a tough world.
Yeah, we all
tell you, next time you're in Isla Morada, next time around, I do get to Florida quite a bit. My dad is down there, and maybe I'll have to make a trip down. I do like
first 3 weeks of March, my friend. I challenge you. Okay. God bless.
Very good.
Thank you for being with us and Out of the Box. This was fun for me. I hope for you. We'll tag a few people and we can talk afterwards. I'm going to end it now just so that we are off the air. Thank you, everyone. Stuart
All right.
Consulting Firm.